maybe in the end, like this all is just a very, very busy calendar. But if you're asking me, do I think what we're doing has the potential to transcend the current audience, and ask me, are there any products currently out there that have enough juice behind them to get chess on, ESPN or whatever that looks like? The answer is no, right? Nothing out there currently is cohesive enough, owns enough of the mind share, meaning it's not just the calendar, it's that people care, and that it is coordinated enough that it could actually, as I said, like transcend our current market. And if the question is that, the answer is no. And I actually don't know that I necessarily see an end or a cure in sight. So where do we go from there? I don't know. I mean, but it's all good. It's and that there's a lot of things going on. But yeah, I don't necessarily believe that what we're doing is going to make any major moves as far as chess being considered a commercially viable sporting media property in that way.
So you're making efforts on your side to create that attention so that chess becomes, again, mass media.
Yeah, I mean,
mainstream.
We're like I said, we invested in the idea that we could help support a show, right? This idea that we hope this show is interesting, even if not to the chess world, to mainstream audiences, right? Because if the eyeballs are not going to come in and understand the world championship, I mean, didn't Vidit's video sum up the whole thing well? So wait, this is the total world championship? Yeah. Okay, so whoever wins this is the world champion, right? No, they get a spot to the candidates for the world championship. Okay, so what's the candidate? You remember Vidit's video, right? I'm paraphrasing. I'm just making fun because it was a great video. Shout out to you, Vidit. So the current ecosystem and product is more confusing than ever. The best player in the world does not play in the traditional world championship. There's all kinds of new world championships. Again, I don't need to go on a rant. Let's just say that everything I just said in the previous 3 minutes is like, let's say that that's correct, or at least for now, it's a mess in terms of trying to explain that to a 5-year-old. Try to explain that to someone at home. That ecosystem is not going to be sponsorable to really like mainstream commercial partners. It's not going to make sense to mainstream media, and it's not going to be something that I think is going to check the box of grow the game through the traditional door, the front door, which is like we tune in to watch the biggest events in chess and then don't wonder where's Magnus, how does the system make sense, whatever, right? So that whole thing is like, it's on its own island and it's great and the calendar is busy, but it's not something that I would bet on as going to change anything for us in the chess market. So yes, as far as my job, my what I try to focus on, that said, it is a world where I think our world is more fascinating than ever. You've got crazy scandals, you've got interesting characters, you've got all these different, people from all over the world. Is there a world where the stories within the fact that it's a bit of a dysfunctional mess and the characters within that world, whether you like them or not, right? Like or not Danny Rensch, like or not Magnus Carlsen, like or not Hans Niemann, like or not Emil Satosky, right? Here are some fascinating characters. Are you interested in understanding what makes this crazy world of perhaps the oldest board game with all of its tradition and legacy while it's being disrupted with crazy edgy streamers? You're not crazy edgy streamer, you know what I mean? You're crazy edgy, yeah, you are. So you've got all these different things going on. Yeah. And so the question is that interesting?
What? Danny, crazy edgy streamers? Oh my gosh, I'm not able to even get to 1,000 after a couple years. Of course, I don't show my face. I am not in my 20s or early 30s like Andrea, nor am I such a high-level player like Dina Belenkaya, who's now shifted to doing podcasts. So, yeah, I kind of am confused with Daniel Rensch, who grew up in a cult in Arizona, which I read what his book is about, is of the Dark Horse or something. I have to remind myself what the name of the book is, but you should read it to understand Daniel Rensch. It's kind of sad to say that there are no commercial partners who would be interested in the game of chess. So if you have any ideas, if you were on his, the comment box or the suggestion box, let's make this the suggestion box and give your ideas. How would you bring chess to sponsors that will want to, support chess, like on a national scale, global scale? And then he talks about herding to cats, and he also talks about getting all the clans together. I mean, you want the Russian clan to ever get along with some other like U.S. clan? I mean, I think he wants a miracle. So that's the problem, that this is not just a game of chess, but the world politically now is changing. Is also a game of chess, and these clans are very powerful with different interests, geopolitical interests, and especially with Russia, that had a lot of state-sponsored chess players that went up the ranks for quite a few decades. Whereas in the U.S., it's you got to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Either have rich parents or find a way to have sponsors that will sponsor you individually. I mean, I wonder who Hans Niemann is being sponsored by, or and then he says, of course, there's all these choices, but they're like the first top 10, 20 players. What about the others that you never know about or hear about? I know some, and they're much better or could compete on the same high level. So very, very this equilibrium in what is being said. And if you have any ideas, if you're into the business, or you have some ChatGPT skills, ask ChatGPT or Grok or whoever else, and mix it all up together and give us an answer. I'll share it with the rest of the public, all the rest of 350 of my subscribers. Hey, I really appreciate you. Thanks for watching.